So good morning all. Okay. So I'm very excited to be here, and uh, it is always a pleasure to attend or visit Enjay wherever I get opportunity to visit Billard. I make it sure that despite the road conditions or any other hardships, it's always good to make it, right? Okay. So first, uh, really great that all of you showed up over here. I think showing up is more important than anything else. Okay. So first, let me talk about the help desk scenarios because it's very important. Uh, uh, my Hindi is not so great, so that's why I'm trying to avoid speaking in Hindi. Okay. Last week I was in a client event on this Sunday in Jodhpur, and it was my client was one of the retailer which is in the western Rajasthan, and they had their vendor meet, and their official language of the whole event was Hindi, and as a keynote speaker, I actually struggled to speak in Hindi. Okay. And when I watched my video again, then I could figure out that I was using 80% English words and just starting and ending the word with Hindi. Okay. So it was a disservice to Hindi language. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm sticking to English. Okay. So generally, and like everybody else, I look at the CRM as a two parts. One, either I'm looking at it as a sales CRM or I look at it as a service or support CRM. Okay, these are two broad segments. Why I do that? Because when I started working in retail, then the people I work with, they simply said retail भाई ये बहुत simple business है. So and as a business owners or as a IT people or whatever, you have to look at two ways. Either whatever you are doing, it should increase my revenue or it should reduce my cost. Barabar? This is the universal truth, right? Whatever we do, when we go to any client, we try to offer any solution, it is either a revenue accretive or it is a cost saving, cost reduction. Okay. Same way, when you look at the CRM either helps client make more money or it helps him save more money. Correct? So end of the day, the client, the net result is that he gets a ROI on his investment. Okay. Now, as the organization and especially in the retail sector, what happens is somebody who's maybe like say small guy, tomorrow he becomes like say, give an example, somebody having one kirana shop. Tomorrow he finds that, oh, the world is changing. Let me convert it to a supermarket, having a self-service kind of a browsing model. And from that he says, no, the town is expanding. Let me open up another branch somewhere, another branch, then maybe near town and all that. And in no time you see that somebody having a one shop becomes a 20 shop, 30 shop, 100 shops like that. Okay. If you look at America story, people like Walmart started with a one store, and maybe today they are one of the world's largest retailer having a few thousand outlets. Okay. In India, if you look at DeMart, which is a very, everybody loves to talk about DeMart and its story. Okay. But when they opened their first store, it was a disaster. Okay. But today, if you look at the DeMart, DeMart's main business is getting people out of the store fast. Okay. And they can get people out of the store fast only if their checkout is fast. And their checkout is fast only if everything gets scanned in the first attempt. Okay. So no scan, no sale. Okay. Now that means, and if customer, if you are a cashier and you tell customer, sir, scan नहीं हो रहा तो मैं बिक नहीं सकता. Every customer will fight over there. Okay. Right? No one in that crowd, no one would like to go back and find another product, right? Okay. Or for that matter, DeMart system doesn't allow you to kind of say put a bill on hold and take a next customer till this guy picks up something else. Okay. Why? Because they see that our IT system's only goal is that getting people out of the store fast. Fastest checkout on the earth is their motive. Okay. And what happens? Whatever goes wrong in the business, everything gets manifest at that checkout counter. Okay. Same thing in any organization, okay, and well-run organization, they follow a philosophy, which we call it as a servant leadership philosophy. Means the leaders, owners, they exist to serve their own people. The people who serve the customers, you as a management exist to serve those people who serve the customers. Okay. So this is the servant leadership. Okay, and in the retail sector, though this term servant leadership, you will find it in the many management books. It comes from a kind of a Biblic philosophy, but it is now a more acceptable norm. Even in the armed forces, the role of the generals is to make sure that their front-end sipais are actually they are properly taken care of. Okay. So same way, when you deploy technology, when you have business processes, when you are having so many things happening in the company and as the organization grows, what becomes important is that do you have a proper way to support your people? Okay. So majority of the help desk systems which got implemented, their first use case was to serve the internal customer or the employees. Okay. Only when you are a service provider kind of organization, you look at the customers or the users who are outside your organization. But primarily, the number one is inside the people. Okay. Now, we are currently, like say, working with Enjay team on one of the largest, I will say, fashion retailer in the country, who has today more than 1,000 stores, and one of their brand is like say, everybody loves to again talk of the way DeMart is everybody loves. Same way in this fashion segment, this particular brand works. Since I'm not taking their name because they are still not signed up. Okay, and they have particular. So when they have 1,000 stores, what happens is every day there's something goes wrong somewhere, right? Somewhere internet conks off, somewhere PC doesn't work, somewhere user forgot the password, and so on. So their daily volume of the tickets has been a more than 1,000. Okay. Now, in a true Indian way, what we do is, if there is a problem, we love to throw people at the problem. Okay. If I'm having a more tickets, more support requests, I will have army of people to handle those tickets. Okay. That's very our Indian style of working. Okay. But then, so this organization also initially they thought that okay, when they started, their help desk had maybe 4 people. Now it over a period of time it became 100 people kind of a help desk. Okay, then you say okay, oh I got users all across the country, so divide them into north, south, east, west. Divide them across the format A, format B, format C kind of a thing, or look at the what is the problem area. Is it a SAP problem? Is it a point of sale problem? Is it a HRMS problem? Is it a hardware problem, network problem? Try to divide around that. Okay. Now, to make life further worse, you put some kind of IVR, you say give a tree structure. If you have got a problem about network, press 1. If you have a problem about PC, press 2. Something like that, And I think we all have gone through this kind of structures, right? Okay. So somebody over there, okay, and their CEO happens to be a very visionary guy, old man, okay, but again they come from a very storied business house of the country, okay, and this gentleman who happens to be a half brother of Ratan Tata, he asked simple question, okay, can there be a better way of serving our people? And then they started talking about, oh, can we use the bots? Can we use the AI? Okay. So that's when actually I started my conversations with them. Okay. So we try to figure out, can we try to understand what user have in mind? Okay. Can we have natural conversation with the user? Can we avoid taking the user through the whole call tree? Okay. That's one part. Secondly, we said when we at the help desk, we take the call, we register, we create the ticket. Then what we do? We generally assign to somebody else. So we call it as a resolver group, people who are actually going to work on solving that problem. Okay. Then now in the resolver group, what happens? Based upon the technology involved, you have a separate set of specialists or the separate teams, or sometimes you have vendors who are like say outsource certain technology piece. Now, while doing that, what happens is you assign the ticket to somebody else, then that guy wants to again understand what is the problem. Okay. Now look at the poor user. He has to narrate everything again. We all have gone through it, right? And every time you ask me to repeat the problem, okay, I became more hyper. I become more angry. My language becomes further bad. Okay, right? And the poor chap who is actually knowing it first time, he feels why I'm doing this job, yaar, sabki gali khani hai. Okay. Now look at these dynamics. Okay. And when such a volume, then what happened was in this organization and like many other organizations, people start saying that हमारा IT department काम नहीं करता है. Okay. You give them a problem and they will just keep on asking us again and again same things. Okay. And whereas when there is a management review, IT teams will show that, oh, their SL is so and so. They resolve the most of the tickets within the SLA period and so on. Okay. So we typically again ask, can we have a robots or the agents, autonomous agents, who will handle this passing of the baton when you have a ticket getting created, then ticket gets assigned automatically to somebody. Now, when that gets assigned to another human being, within that period, can this robot can gather all the context, all the necessary information? So give an example, since most of people here are techies. If the ticket is about networking, okay, network issue, can at least I check out whether that system is able to ping, is it reachable or not, okay, or at least what is its IP address, where that system is, and so on, okay, or what are the other configurations. Now, all this data is lying in the some system, okay. Now, if the organization is mature, you may have something called the CMDB, okay. You can have all the data configurations lying there, and you can pick up and use it, okay. Now, all these things, and I'm trying to just elaborating it so that you are able to appreciate the whole use case, okay. Sorry for that, okay. But point is that whatever this engineer supposed to do, okay, as a diagnostic exercise, that can be most of the time is rule-based automated, and agents can be trained to do all that, okay. So it tells the user, the engineer, by in this ticket this is the context, this is the problem, and I'm recommending you these solutions, okay. So that agent's productivity goes up. Then we said that why not? Can we also help the user to solve problem himself? Can there be some problems? For example, many times you if there is a call from the user and you say, हाँ भाई ये देखो ये करो नहीं हो रहा है, ठीक है, reboot करो, right? Now, if final solution is going to be reboot karo, then can the bot itself can tell the user, do it, reboot karo? Can it hold on the call? What will happen? Okay. I will give another story. Okay. So one of my client, like say again, it was into retail software, and during 2017, right, when the GST got implemented. Okay. So for the most of the retailers and like any other businesses, transition to GST was a big thing. And these guys were saying, I sell my software for 15,000, 20,000 rupees. And these users are going to be like, say, occupying my so much of a time. Okay. Because everybody is saying, I want to be on phone with you. Okay. Or phone काटना नहीं जब तक मेरा problem solve नहीं होता है. So sometimes for 4 hours, people will hold on the line. And then your capacity to handle the calls get exhausted. So some of the retail software developers, they actually stop their telephone lines. Okay. They said any support will happen only via chat. Okay. The point is that most of the like said, the way AI is happening is one is able to do the conversations, whether it's a textual, whether voice. Vishal bhai gave a good demo of that. Okay. One can have a lot of context getting generated. The solutions can be recommended. Their priorities can be recommended. Apart from that, if for example you ask user to like say, okay, share the screenshot. Okay. Now recognizing the screenshot is a cognitive ability. Okay. I need to use my brain, my eyes to figure out what is there in the screenshot. Okay. Now with a computer vision, the bots are able to actually figure that out. Okay. They are able to again draw the context out of that screenshot and can figure out the problem, can come out with the solutions. Okay. So understanding something, interpreting something, and coming with a action on that, I think that is something which is already happening as we speak. Okay. And this is where the world is happening and world is moving. And what we are trying to do at McDonald's or Burger King or few other clients, where we want to offer this kind of services and solutions round the clock. Okay. Majority of the retailers don't sleep. Okay. Even in the night, there is something keeps on happening at their back end. Replenishment keeps on happening. Okay. supply chain keeps on working, and so on. Okay, so this is something which is typically happening. Same thing happens on the solution or the sales side. In the sales side, uh, so typically the problems that traditional CRMs had was it forces the users to do a lot of data entry. Okay, you create the lead, you have to put in a lot of information. दिमेश भाई बोलेंगे कि भाई आपने होमवर्क किया क्या, उसका लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल देखा क्या, सब कुछ किया क्या. Now many times, okay, many people are simply lazy, I will put say, or they don't have time. That's the second alibi that we can give. Okay. Or third thing is like we are distracted. We are busy in watching something on the OTT. Okay. Now, it's good or bad, it's a different question, not getting into that. Okay. But the point is that, okay, so far we are using IT as a, or software as a tools wherein as a user I was telling software what to do. And from that, when we do transition, software tells me what to do. Okay. ये जो role reversal जो है, okay, I am directing the system versus system directing me to do something. Okay, this is the biggest change that is happening. Okay, it started happening slowly. It started happening to the last man in the chain, because we started selling. For example, I am having a Salesforce automation solution. I have a feet on street. Okay, walking the markets. I was telling my system was generating the say, bhai, this is your bid, this is your route, these are the counters where you are visiting, this is what you have to do. Okay, people were happy that okay, because I am giving to people who are like say last man in the chain, and they are supposed to do that. Okay, the guy who gets the least salary in my organization. It's a blunt way of saying so. Okay, now from that, now we are reaching a stage wherein when we are reviewing the performance. Okay, now bosses are what the bosses are doing today. They have already started uploading the Excel reports into the chat GPTs of the world, saying that basically help me understanding interpretation. What can be the call to action? Okay, this is already happening. So naturally, same bosses are asking the CRM companies, can we automate this? Can we put it into the back in the process itself? Okay. So the time to action, that window is shrinking. Okay. In our famous OPR reports, that definition of the periodic, okay, is undergoing a massive change from the day, week, month, okay, or quarter, annual kind of a things. Okay, many in the retail kind of environment, you actually looking at the hourly sales. Okay, in many quick service restaurants, you monitor the hourly sales, and if you find that okay, my that you try to predict whether I will be able to achieve my daily sales target or not. Should I run a promotion at a 4 o'clock or a 5 o'clock? Should I do markdown if I'm let's say also into fresh vegetables and fruits kind of a things? Can I do my markdowns early enough? Now all these things, that means the predictive analytics and all that getting embedded into the CRMs, and believe me, CRM is kind of a conquering the world. Okay. Maybe except accounting and maybe except inventory management, I think everything becomes a CRM. Okay. And then when the CRM system like a Sangam, when it is powered with a low code, no code kind of capabilities, okay, that means any workflow, any such thing can be embedded over there. Okay. So in other words, it is not just some system to be used by some set of people in an organization. It becomes the prime system in that organization, wherein your ERP takes a backseat. In the classical IT model, we say there is a system of record, there is a system of differentiation, and there is a system of innovation. Okay. So my ERP becomes my system of record, where I will look for my statutory compliances, taxation, this, that, etc., or standard reporting. But when it's come to actually the system of differentiation, to me, Sangam CRM becomes my system of differentiation. And when I look at the system of innovation, then whatever today I'm doing, because innovation definition keeps on changing. Today's innovation is tomorrow's standard feature, right? So today what we are talking about, the bots and all that, today it's the innovation, but tomorrow it's a business as usual, simple. This needs to be a standard feature, bhai. No one is going to be paying extra for that. Okay, and if you don't have it, no one is going to even have a conversation with you. Okay. Okay. So I think this is where we are going. This is where the customer's vision is reaching out, and we as a bridge to the client, okay, we have to be at the forefront, okay, and we have to, like say, it's a two-way street. It's the ideas from the clients, the experiences from the client, the feedbacks from the client, that goes feedback into the product owners and the, I will say, the Limesh Bhai, who is, I will say, custodian of the vision and roadmap for Enjay. Okay. So the way he shared his vision, I think it is the duty of all of us to also provide that continuous feedback and ideas. And that's why with this tango of the two sides, that's where the product becomes better and better. The platform game improves, and I think that's the place to be. We all need to be there, and that's a really a fun place. Okay, so thank you very much.